This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is the Menagerie of Forgotten Horrors. It was written by Harri, Savolainen. It's available from the Miskatonic Repository. Our keeper of arcane lore is Keith Craig, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Justin Bumgardner as his character, Jacob Hawes. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Dustin?
Wow, where to begin? My goodness. Well, I was recruited by Mary Cobbler. She's a friend of mine, maybe not the closest friend, just somebody that I'd seen that she's come to see my shows. I think she saw me perform Sherlock Holmes on the stage, and then she thought I had some private investigating skills. But nevertheless, I got an invitation from her, and I went to her house, and I learned that she wanted me to help her with the investigation of the disappearance of her brother, John. John had not been seen for a week, but it wasn't just me. There were 4 other investigators included in this. There's Dr. Constantine Ducasse, or Tino. He's a professor of biology and natural history. Then there's Dr. Nathaniel Adams, an academic historian, and Madeline Gray, a journalist, and old Scraps O'Sullivan, a boxing coach of all things. Well, we began to investigate and to try to look in to see what might have happened to John. And the thing that jumped out is that John took a keen interest in genealogy. He also has this strange birthmark on his torso, on the skin above his heart, that is supposedly hereditary. His father and grandfather apparently had the same birthmark, and a little concerning, they both died tragically in accidents. And even more strange is that Scraps has pretty much the exact same birthmark as well. Well, our investigations also discovered that John had received a letter from a Mr. Holland from the Spring Exchange in New York. Also of interest was a Robert Willermore. Willermore is a rich New York philanthropist. He contacted John and has connections to the Spring Exchange and the New York Zoological Society. Willermore has an interest in genealogy, and he funded a memorial at the Zoological Society. And we found a map in John's jacket, more on that later, that indicated the resting place of a Franz Willemsen. Apparently, this Franz Willemsen was the patriarch of this family that goes all the way back to 1663, at least according to the genealogy books that John had checked out from the library. Well, as we continued our investigation, Dr. Ducasse and I went to Dr. Huntington's home, and Dr. Huntington was an archaeologist who studied Egypt, and who John was supposed to deliver a package to. Well, Huntington, we found his corpse. He was killed in a horrible manner, with his, head like sliced off, or half of it, the front half of it. And there was he was covered in this strange larvae, one of which actually jumped out on my hand, on my index finger, and bit me. But also of interest was a strange receipt that was found in a storage receipt that was found in John's jacket pocket, and John's jacket was at that scene. And we contacted John's psychologist, Dr. Cranes, and he said that John had kept a dream diary. Well, after our first day of investigation, we went to sleep, and Scraps and I were awoken by some noises in the basement. So we went down there and we saw Mary asking where John was and looking through things. And as I approached her, she attacked me and she threw me across the room. And then she ran away. And then we saw Madeline and Mary coming down the stairs. So somehow there were two Marys. My friends called the Mary that attacked me, some of them use the term doppelganger. I don't know about that. I suspect it was a demon. Well, Madeline went to the neighbor's house to talk to the older couple that lived there, and she said that they all seemed very normal. But the next morning, after we finally got some sleep, Dr. Adams discovered a newspaper article the next day, which indicated that the local mailman had gone missing. Weren't sure what to make of that. So in the morning, Madeline, Scraps, and I went to the church. And we saw that there was a memorial for Dr. Huntington, and we talked to the priest about John's disappearance. The priest did not seem to know that much. But the most important thing that happened on our visit to the church is that a strange man walked into the office and he smelled of sulfur. And this is the same smell that we detected in Huntington's apartment, that we detected when we encountered the doppelganger. And the strange man left, and something inside me just made me want to follow him. So I quickly followed him, and then I heard a man scream, and I ran up. And I was shocked by what I saw when I rounded the corner. I saw a monster standing on two legs with a huge mouth and jagged teeth. It bit the groundskeeper's head in half, killing him instantly. And then the monster transformed into a man that looked like the groundskeeper, including his clothes. And then it ran away. I know I should have followed, but I was too shocked and maybe too cowardly in the moment to follow. And this monster, this demon, whatever it is, it just got away. Anyway, while we were doing this, Dr. Ducasse and Dr. Adams noticed that Mary's neighbor was watching the cobbler house, and he was walking toward it. And Dr. Ducasse turned his car around and talked to the neighbor. The neighbor inquired where John was, and Dr. Ducasse told him that John was in New York, even though we don't know for sure if he's in New York. But anyway, this prompted the neighbor to return to his car and head south, presumably to New York. Well, Dr. Ducasse and Dr. Adams then went to the morgue. They wanted to view Dr. Huntington's body, but they were less interested in how he was killed necessarily. They wanted to know if he had one of those birthmarks that Scraps and John and others have had. But it turns out that he did not have that birthmark. Well, when Madeline and Scraps and I returned to the cobbler home, the first thing I did is I took the gun that John hid under his mattress, and I encouraged the others to arm themselves as well. Now, I am a pacifist, and I'm somebody who would never dream of using a gun or even threatening another human being with a gun. But I have no reservations about using a gun on a demon, on something that is inhuman. And from what I saw with my own eyes, I think that's what we're facing here. Anyway, we convinced Mary to leave the home and to head north for her own safety, to go up and to be with her fiance. And I think this is probably the single best thing we did in all the time that we were here, because I really believe that if she stays in this house any longer, her life is in danger. Anyway, I went to the neighbor's house and I discovered the mutilated bodies of both of them. The same stench of sulfur hung in the air. The neighbors had been killed by the demon. The woman's head was completely turned around backwards. The front of the man's head was missing. Again, I'm sure this must be a demon. I mean, the sulfur smell, that's the smell of like fire and brimstone, from hell. I'm just stunned by what we're facing. But anyway, finally, after all of this, we got into Dr. Ducas's car. We began heading south to New York. We thought that a car was following us. A car was seemed to be following us very suspiciously. We're not sure if it was, this could have just been paranoia on our part. I don't know. But Dr. Ducasse stopped at a gas station, at a diner, and then we ended up continuing going to New York. But instead of going the direct route, we took a bunch of side roads, and we were careful to make sure that we weren't followed. So whoever it is that's behind all of this strangeness that's going on, hopefully we're off their radar, or at least for now. Well, now that we're arriving in New York, I think we have three options. We have the library, where we could look up information on genealogy, the Spring Exchange, the New York Zoological Society, Robert Willimore, and perhaps scan some of the recent back issues of newspapers. We could also go to the Zoological Society, try to meet whoever's in charge, visit the area circled on the map, which maybe indicates Williamson's grave or where he's buried. And a third option is to visit the Spring Exchange, meet Mr. Holland, Mr. Spencer, and maybe even Mr. Willimore. And if Mr. Willimore's not available there, we could perhaps find him at his home. And also, we need to be on the lookout for a storage facility, maybe where this storage ticket is, and we need to be on the lookout for John's dream diary. Well, that's about all that I can think of right now. So just wish us luck and God bless.
All right, excellent. Okay. So, you guys arrive in New York, the Big Apple. The drive down, it all took a few hours, and it wasn't. So we'll say it's probably about mid to late afternoon when you finally get here into the city.
You just have to find a place to stay overnight. My pocket is not so, we need to find something that's clean but not expensive. How about that place over there, the Dewdrop Inn? That's very funny. Dewdrop Inn.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Yep. If you check in, they, of course, will check you in without any problem. It's a couple dollars for a night.
So you've given us three things that we need to think about. I'm wondering if any of these might be involved to the point where if we show up, what are we going to say? Where's John? That's what everybody seems to be asking. Are we going to look like the bad guys?
Yes. I'm a little bit suspicious of these people at the Spring Exchange by the way that the Mr. Spencer rudely hung up on me. Now, it may, we don't know for sure if they're in on what's going on or if they're on our side, but I would definitely want to be careful. I want to, something's wrong here, and I don't fully comprehend what it is.
I imagine we had a lot of time to discuss what we think. So do we think then that there's some sort of creature, perhaps some exotic thing we've never heard of, that's able to shape change, to steal a man's face and become something else, something that's much stronger than human beings, able to tear doors off of hinges? And I'm just entertaining what you've told us, Jacob.
Well, we suspect that there's at least two of them because there was one that Madeline Scraps and I observed at the church, and while that was happening and the groundskeeper were killed, I think around the same time, Mary's neighbors were being killed,
Yes.
presumably by something the same way. They were all killed the same way, and they all have this larvae that are left on them. So I think we can presume that there's at least two of these, if not even more.
Well,
Uh,
yes. I mean, as a biologist, there's rarely two of anything. There's usually a whole race of something or
Whole army.
species.
what's
Well,
called
perhaps the
larva.
library would be the best place to start because we could look up information not only on the background of the spring exchange and the zoological society, but we can also look up to see if there's any creatures that maybe in some old stories or something that fit this description.
Agreed. They have the best libraries in America, or some of the best libraries in America are right here in New York. So we should be able to, we should have a much better chance to get information here than we did in Greenwich.
I wonder
Well,
why the zoo. Does anyone else have a bad feeling about this zoo? Why are they hanging out at the zoo of all places?
that's just it. Some strange animal, some
Yeah.
strange.
Well, I'm polishing my shot. I'm checking over the shotgun because I haven't used it in like a week or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm ready for anything that comes this way. I got 16 gauge shotgun. Put a
I think
hole
we
in
have
it.
a
You can't walk
choice of
around
one
through
of.
the streets in New York City with a shotgun, though. So be
I
careful.
think it would be best if we fight these things, not to do it on foot. Someone drive around and I'll shoot it while we're driving out the window.
By my reckoning, though, we're going to have to pick one or the other. Library and zoo will probably be closing at 5. That gives us only a couple of hours.
I recommend the library. I agree with Madeline. I think this is the place to start. We could possibly get some more leads because right now, beside the library, we really only have 2 leads. Maybe we could pick up another one, or at least we could get some more information and we can better inform our decision of whether to go to the Zoological Society or the Spring Exchange next. So
Also,
we
does
should.
our hotel have a telephone book? Perhaps there might be something listed for storage lockers.
Um, we'll say that the
Probably.
front desk that they could,
Okay.
help you out.
I would
Or they
really
might
like
have
to know when
millions.
John came to New York, like where he stayed. I wish we had that information.
Why
I'm
did he come
wondering
to New
about the
York and
theme.
not some small
Oh,
town where
oh,
there's only one hotel?
Yeah, right.
Maybe he talked to the people at the train station when he arrived and asked for directions. Maybe someone might recognize him.
and what were you going to say, Dr. Adams?
I'm wondering about the theme. I mean,
Your
when
your sound is a little off.
sound,
Sorry.
better now.
It sounds like you're way off in a room somewhere.
Yeah, it's like it's not using your mic.
Can't understand you or something pretty well.
I think
Make
it's not
sure-
using your mic.
Make sure the Zoom call audio is using the correct microphone. If you have a headset, sometimes we'll have a cell phone setting basically that has bad quality, and then it has like
Better
the
now.
normal. There you
Better
go. There you go.
Okay, you were right. He was
Ah,
there you
taking the
go.
sound from the
Better.
camera. I didn't realize, or sorry. I'm so
Mine
sorry.
does
fine,
that
you're fine.
too.
All this will
Yeah.
be cut out. Yeah.
I saw you trying
Go
to
ahead.
talk, and I was like, we're not picking him out. That's why I called you. Yeah.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Dr. Adams?
I was wondering about what you said before, to not ask for John, because we should look like we could look like the bad ones. But are people in New York aware of what's happening? I mean, there are people waiting for the bad ones here. I'm not sure about that. And in the other hand, we're talking about how many of them they are around. What about the larva? If it's in a species, larvae are the sons. So I suppose they are growing up, but how many time should the larva take to grow up and to become a monster?
Well, surely if
Maybe
Very
any
good
murders have
question.
been committed in the New York area, it'll be in the papers. Anybody having their face sliced off would surely make the papers.
If I was going to make a determination based on most Earth biology, uh, insects require at least half a year or so, so that they become mature in their when it's best for them to mate and reproduce. They certainly don't become adult overnight.
Cicadas.
And cicadas is a good example of one that stays in its larval form for 7 to 13 years before it
yeah,
transforms. But
that's true.
these
But
look like
what about demon insects?
well, there's no rules for that. They could
Okay.
just uh, since it's taking an actual form of some sort of insect, I'd say it's probably an insect. Probably some tropical thing. And there's ties here with the zoo to the ability to bring animals over from foreign countries. Hopefully they haven't brought over some horrible invasive species that, kills
Yeah.
all of our livestock. And
I still think it must be a demon. There's no insects I know of. I'm not an expert, but there's no insects I know of that smell of sulfur.
well, sulfur is sometimes confused with rotten eggs. And that is definitely a biological smell.
But they are
That's
able to
why.
talk as humans. We have
Yeah,
seen it.
there's something much weirder. Could it be an infection, a parasite that's controlling people?
Parasites don't let you shapeshift.
No, that's true. I still don't understand the whole face-off thing. I
Maybe
could have
you,
understood the next door neighbor becoming infected with a mind-controlling larva, but we know he was killed
Well,
and
and
then he was copied.
the bodies that, well, the thing has murdered have only been men, but yet somehow it was able to replicate Mary's look. Her
I think
poor form.
doppelganger was a very good. I mean, that's what doppelgangers do, isn't it?
No,
In mythology,
it's this thing where like you have like a shadow, but this is more like an alien. It can turn into anyone it wants
I
with their
don't think
clothes
that's
and everything.
true. I really don't. I think that for some reason, maybe it has to do with the lineage. Maybe they can shapeshift into the female form, but for males, they have to ingest their face.
and maybe they can't perfectly mimic those with the birthmark.
That could be.
So they want to eliminate the ones that. I mean, we really know that they want to eliminate John. They're looking for John. John's running.
I think there's an issue, like you said, if we want answers to these questions, if we just ask them, we're gonna look like we're just them. How are we
Or
gonna
we
convince
might
anyone?
they might just chop off our faces at that point because they'll know that we're involved. I say we go to the library. It's a good idea. We can get that done. And then I don't know what we can do this evening other
I
than just
know
eat and
I
rest.
I have one idea that we could use to kind of show us who we're dealing with. If we get attacked again and we lead that monster to their door, if we go in their building and the monster follows us, they have to defend themselves. If they, are going to fight against them, they have to fight them.
Maybe.
If they're
Well,
working with them,
We're
then we'll know. We'll see them work together. And then we're really in trouble, but we're in trouble either way. I don't know, just an idea.
Perhaps honesty is the best policy. Uh, one way
I'm
or the other, we
cheaper.
find out who the bad guys are and who the good guys are.
I presume we're in Manhattan. Is that right? Part of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so there's lots of good libraries. I mean, I'm not an expert on libraries in New York myself, but I'm sure
One with the big
Madeline is a
lions.
journalist. I don't know if you've done any work in New York. You'd probably know where the libraries are, or maybe one of the doctors. Uh,
I
you know,
probably can guide you to any
Yeah.
library.
Yeah.
yeah,
The big library with the big giant lions in the front of it.
yeah.
And
Um,
NYPL, New York Public Library. It's massive. So,
I know we're the best theater, where we got Broadway and then we got some stuff that's kind of off Broadway. If we could take in a show tonight if you want to, but
I'm wondering what Broadway was actually like in the 1930s. It might have been all
Are there any boxing fights?
probably.
Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any money, but we can
we could
stand
go to
outside of it and
Harlem and
look.
catch a jazz performance in Harlem if you want.
And probably a fight too.
Well, let's do it. Library.
Okay, so you get to the library, and it is the one with the massive lions outside and all. When you come in, it's a public library, so of course you can come in. There's people coming in and out all the time. It's New York. It's not like the librarian's even really going to notice people coming into the library. She'll look up at you, but it's not like a small town library where they're going to offer assistance or anything unless you ask for it. And what are you trying to research?
I think
Kind of
I'd
like
like to.
No, go ahead.
I would like to see if there's anything on the spring exchange. I have this feeling that perhaps it's actually a front.
Okay.
I am going to look up doppelgangers and see if there's any kind of, mimicry that's been documented or anything like that. It's kind of silly, but I'm a
Sounds good.
skeptic.
Okay. Right. The other
Doc-
three were you
Dr.
looking for?
Adams will look for some demonology book, and I will look for some kind of myth that I can see it's similar in some way to what's happening here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to look at a book. I'm gonna just check out the front desk and skulk around, see if I find anything laying around.
All right. Okay. And how about you, Jacob?
So, I would like to, I'm not really a boss in the library or anything, but I'd like to look through the most recent back issues of the newspapers, and I'm going to just scan through those, and I'm going to be looking to see if there are any stories on anything that links with our investigation, any grisly murders or anything
Okay.
like the kinds we've seen, or anything about, obviously any mention of Willimore or Holland or any person of interest, or John, obviously. So just look through the back issues
Okay.
of the
All
past
right.
couple of weeks or so.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So we'll start with Madeline. Give me a library use.
39 out of 60. Pass.
Okay. So what you find out about the Spring Exchange? It's like a brokerage and all. It was founded by Willimore's grandfather, who was a pretty ruthless businessman. And then, like a lot of businessmen in the Gilded Age and stuff, when his father took over, he kind of did a bunch of community projects to try and make the family name not so bad, kind of like Carnegie did and everything else. At the end of his life, donates a bunch of money so people remember him fondly instead of like as a ruthless businessman. But yeah, that's what you find about the Spring Exchange.
So it doesn't say specifically that it's for genealogical research.
No.
Mm.
It looks like it plays in the stock market. Okay. All right. Dr. Dukas?
Library, you said?
Yep.
I got a 7 out of 75.
No, that's
Um,
really good. So looking up doppelgangers and stuff, with an extreme like that, I mean, besides what you would find in your typical mythological, you do find one mention of an Egyptian mythology that kind of describes the kind of what the other three described to you, like the creature shape and everything. And it was you know, they were mostly most of the writings took place during a strange time when the Black Pharaoh was in charge of Egypt.
is there a name to that creature?
Let me see.
Huma huma nuka nuka apawa'a.
Yeah, lots of hmm, hmm. uh we'll say that there is, but like it's got a couple like apostrophes and so
Okay.
yeah. Okay. All right. Dr. Adams, you're doing some look on some also some mythology or something if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I rolled 59 out of 70.
Okay. Yeah, so looking in there, you find a thing in there with that about a old spells that were used that could curse family lines and stuff, and that people would know they were cursed because they would bear a distinct mark.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that kind of what grabbed your attention because you think of all the brick marks and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Jacob, looking through the newspapers, you don't need to make a roll for that. What you mostly find about Wilmore is your typical like fluff piece. And, it looks like they do a good job of kind of, keeping their public image looking nice.
Do I see anything about the New York Zoological Society or the park, anything?
Nothing besides that article you guys had found before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Scraps, give me a luck roll.
Yes, okay. Well, I'll spend 6 luck to pass the luck.
Yeah. All right. So looking around on the desks and stuff, you don't find anything of you know that grabs your eye.
Right.
There's some pens.
Papers.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. All right.
When I see like people coming back, I'll go up to I guess Madeline and ask, what did you find out about those birthmarks? You find out about like when I'm gonna die?
Well, I didn't seem to find anything about the birthmark, but I did find out that the Spring Exchange is a brokerage firm, which has nothing to do with genealogy. So why would they be contacting John about genealogy? That
Maybe
makes no sense.
I don't know. They're giving off a vibe like the rich eccentric types or something like that. They're just like, this is like, we're just in their little game or something like that.
Like
I
I
think
said, I think maybe Willamore has a private interest, and somehow John came onto his radar.
Well, that's a lot of big words.
Yes, my dear.
Boy,
Let's see what the others found.
I found a bit of very interesting stuff. I was looking for doppelganger, and it led me eventually. I found some Egyptian mythology in a rather obscure little tome. There was apparently at one time a pharaoh that was so cursed and hated by his people that they buried him alive in a tomb to slowly starve to death. Neferin-Ka was his name. And there are described these creatures called Kopek Ta'ath, which fit our description. Very strong, shape-shifting monsters of some sort, but there's very little detail. It's based on the interpretations of random hieroglyphics that were found. But other than
funny that
that's
it's
the only reference I
Egyptian.
could find. Yes,
Because,
I thought the same
yes,
thing.
I wonder if Huntington's house was hiding more secrets than what we found.
If it was a real creature, what if he accidentally brought something that had spores or
Did this book of yours
eggs?
say if the monsters lay nematodes? Did it mention anything about the bugs that they come off of the
Not
monster?
really, but the Egyptians did have a thing for bugs, beetles especially. They
What
considered them
about
sacred.
what about if we are talking about a curse? Some kind of a spell? I've been reading some stuff that some of that curses, all the spells, could grow in the form of a birthmark.
And then we go to curses. Dr. Adams, it's very fascinating because what else is Egyptian history plagued with? Curses.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking about that things and I'm taking seriously.
I'm with you,
But
Doctor.
but it seems there's something like that happening here.
John was saying that he felt cursed, right?
Huh.
That's what Mary said.
Yeah, you're right.
But why
Maybe
would
he
he
was
be the
cursed.
only one that felt this? Mary's of the same lineage. Should she not be cursed as well? It is very strange that only the men seem to be afflicted by this curse.
We don't have a large enough base. Perhaps men and women are sometimes. It's just the women also disappear.
Yeah.
But he was
And
just looking into how his dad died, and then he reached out to them. That's how he became worried about it. He
also
didn't
not
even
sure
know
that
about it.
the curse is a very good word here. I think curse implies that there's somebody cursing you, a wizard or a magician or a priest or
Or
priestess.
maybe an old statue.
Putting all
Old
these clues
statue.
together, maybe we should see if we can find any articles on Dr. Huntington and his trips to Egypt. Maybe there's something about things that he brought back or things that he was researching.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope I'm
more
not mixing this up with another game, but there was a statue of Hecate, wasn't there?
Yes.
Correct, yes.
There was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look up Hecate and see what we can find. I know a bit because it's Greek mythology, but she was the goddess of magic. But there was a lot more to her than just magic.
Yes, she's a complex goddess, not just magic.
So
Okay.
I will find the big Greek mythology tome.
Yeah, you find that and you
Hercules, hell,
mhm.
hey, Hecate.
Yeah, please. Yeah. And you find that on there, and this is where I will 100% say you probably know more about Hecate than I do.
I actually know just a little bit. That was only because we had it in another game. But,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
yeah, rather strangely, a triple-headed goddess sometimes. I think she had whips that she whipped people. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
yeah, this would definitely be if they were using this. If they were using this as a focus, then they were definitely worshiping magic and darkness and
That kind
but
of
now
makes sense. Sorry, I was just thinking that they appeared in that neighborhood and seemingly like nowhere else. So that makes sense if there was a portal, like we were talking about before, some kind of focus, like you said, maybe it was in his house.
Or
Maybe John knew that.
maybe all of these old mythologies are rooted in truth. The problem with a cryptid kind of creature is if it doesn't want to be found, it usually finds a pretty good way to keep hidden. And now with that, I hadn't even remembered the statue, but could there be some cult involved, some religious Hecate worshipping cult? I wonder if there's any books in here on weird cults.
People don't still worship those old Egyptian gods. Most people in Egypt are Muslims. Some of them are Christians. They don't worship
rational
those
people
gods
don't.
anymore, do they?
Rational people don't. But
Yeah.
some religious fanatics,
Huh.
that's all we're doing. We're not dealing with 200 million people. We're dealing with a handful of crazy worshippers
Yeah.
of Hecate. And even
I
then you don't know if
know.
their priest isn't just pulling the wool over their eyes.
Well, looking through the newspaper archives, can Madeline find any um, articles on Dr. Huntington and what his research was?
That sounds like a library use role.
Okay. Movie. How much left do I have? Do I want to? I'm gonna use 15 luck.
You could always push it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to justify the reroll there?
I think I'm gonna go over to the clerk and
Mhm.
ask for their assistance.
Okay. Okay. So so if you fail on the push, what will happen is that you're going to kind of be in here digging around until essentially closing time, which is at 9 o'clock at night, and
Oh, wow. Didn't
they,
know they were open so late.
that's how like libraries here are. So
City
that's
that
what's
never
based in
sleeps.
it. So yeah.
We should
So
we should see how late the Zoom's open. Kill two
You want to go there
doppelgangers with
tonight?
one.
We want to go to the Zoological Society tonight?
so
Probably not.
Less chance that
Probably
we'll be
dead.
seen.
all right, so give me that roll, Madeline.
15. Woo.
All right. So digging through there, what you find on Dr. Huntington, he was a tenured professor at this university called Miskatonic in Arkham, and they his focus he was big on finding obscure gods and things in Egypt. He was fascinated with finding hieroglyphs that would reference, not Osiris, Isis, and all the main ones that we know of. He was positive that by doing that, he could prove that, hey, the Egyptian religion was what spread out around the world, and that all the other religions are fathered from that, but that has been suppressed throughout history.
Hmm.
Sounds like blasphemy to me.
That's why it wasn't popular.
He had some strange ideas, but what he was looking into very much concerns me about that statue in his house and what else might be hiding there.
In retrospect, we should have taken a closer look at it. There was something odd about it. When Tino and I looked at it, it made us feel dizzy for a second, almost like we were falling
Very,
toward it. And I didn't
very
think
odd
much at the
feature.
time. I thought it was just the smell of the corpse and everything that was making us feel dizzy, but maybe it was something more than that. Maybe there was something about that statue.
A very hard time believing in magic. But I do believe that some old artifact from ancient Egypt, when opened, could have had a bacteria or a spore of something that hasn't been seen in 3,000 or 4,000 years, and it's causing something to happen. That I could believe. That some ancient goddess of magic is turning people into giant caterpillars. I'm face-stealing caterpillars. I don't know if the zoological society, if the zoo is open till late. Some people like to walk around and look at the animals in the dark. We could at least see what that one spot is.
Let's take a look. If it's closed, we just go home and go to sleep, and then we come back in the morning. If it's open, we walk around and we see what we can see.
And it's probably best that we go in the evening. There'll be less people there.
Mm-hmm.
People staring at us.
And Scraps, make sure you're looking to see if there's anybody suspicious tailing. Maybe I'll also kind of look around as well. Maybe a couple of us kind of
my eyes have been peeled for the last 12 hours. I don't know if you noticed, but I finished off all of Mary's coffee. My flask is empty.
My only concern is, do we have to have an invitational ticket like John did in order to gain entry?
Well, we can find out. We can head up to the front gate, I guess.
Might be something you purchase at the front gate, yes.
All right, so you guys head over to the zoo.
Yeah.
I got a question,
Yes,
a little
sir.
one. As Hecate is a moon-related goddess, what's about the moon right now? It's full moon where we are at.
Let me look here.
And I think Hecate is specifically the dark moon, the new moon.
Okay.
So when you can't see
So the moon is it's getting close to where it's a full moon. Is that the waxing moon? Where it's getting
waxing.
brighter. Yeah. So
waxing gibbous.
yeah, it's a gibbous moon. So yeah.
So how many days before it's full moon?
2.
2 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just checked to see that we're not being followed again.
Okay. All right. Give me a spot hidden.
I'd also like to make a check on that.
Okay.
I'll spend the 4 luck if I need to.
I got a 09 on the spot hidden.
Nice.
So that is
You are not.
okay.
Well, they finally let us shake them.
All right. So you guys get to the zoological park, and to see if it's open, so this one doesn't have the time on it. Why don't we do a group luck roll? Who's got the worst luck?
I have 65.
Let me see.
I have
40,
61.
40?
I have 55.
40?
Who's got 40?
Or
Sounds like the worst.
Okay.
40?
All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the worst.
All right. 22. Let's go.
All right. They are open. We'll say that they're open for another hour.
Ah, cool. And do we have that map? We can look at the map.
Yeah, we got the map.
and see
Mhm.
see if we can get our way to where the circle is. It was
Okay.
a circle, right?
Yeah. There was a place circled on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a monument.
So you guys just
Yeah.
gonna try and follow the map.
Yeah, just walking along.
Okay. Kind of wander around.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
monkeys.
It's a beautiful zoo, and then following kind of where it is, you see that it takes you to a place where you're pretty sure that this trail, it's like a road that goes into the woods, but it's still part of the zoo and all. So, but you're pretty sure if you went down that road that you'd find what's circled.
Is it marked where you're not like supposed to go that way?
Nope.
Or
Nope, it's not marked. Mm-mm.
we could always hide in here. They don't really do a thorough look to see who would want to hide in here. But
I would love to see what's going on here at night.
More
let's
afraid
follow.
of
Well, I
what's
certainly don't want to
already
get locked in.
what's already hiding here.
Yeah, I'd say
You don't see any of those bugs around here on the trees or anything, right?
You do not.
I've slept in a park a time or two in my life, so it wouldn't be the first time.
they'll probably have a night guard. We'll just tell him that we got lost and
Yeah.
we're completely innocent.
All right. So you guys go down the path or the road.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when you go down there, it goes on for a little ways, and then you come to this. What you see up ahead, you see a fence that is 30 feet high. It's made out of wooden timber, and there's a double gate on it. The gate is closed, and outside of the fence, you see piles of like granite blocks, some 2x4s stacked up. What you would expect for at a construction site. The material for building.
Building something.
Building. Looks like a lot of material.
Well, we had read that they were building a monument. I'm not sure if they were finished with it yet. They could still be in the process of doing that.
Yes,
Let's
it definitely doesn't look finished.
poke around a little. Does it look dangerous? Like it could collapse or
No. Mm-mm.
I say I'm curious. So curiosity killed that. Oh, that's a bad thing.
Are there spaces between the wooden slats that we could peer in?
It's one of those like you kind of get there, but they're kind of tight enough that you kind of it's hard to see. But looking in there, you see there's trees. Oh, it doesn't look like they cut down the trees, and you do see two large natural stones right in what you would estimate's the center of this circular fence.
Almost like standing stones.
Mm-hmm.
Like about the
I'd
size
like to
of
take a closer look. I'd like to go up as close as I can to the stones and
Okay.
look, see.
So you're gonna try and climb the fence, or go through try and open the gate.
He's
Try
a
to open the
magician.
gate.
Okay. The gate is locked.
Ooh.
You pickpocket or a pet pickpocket?
Not me. I've never locked it. You locksmith is
How-
what you're saying. That's not.
How-
That's,
How do you get out of the handcuffs when you're doing the magic?
I'm not Harry Houdini. I'm not a magician. I'm an actor.
What about Scraps? Scraps, do you have lock-picking skills?
Come on,
that
Scraps.
was never what I was ever ordered to do. I just shoot at things basically all day in my service. I didn't ever do anything like that. I can give you a boost over the wall, but I can't give you a boost back. So I don't think.
Is it a padlock keeping the gate
Yeah.
closed?
Yeah, it's got like a chain and then padlock.
Scraps, you're strong. Why don't you pick
Yeah.
up a big rock and see if you can break the lock?
Is it a really heavy chain or is it just
Yeah.
Is there a hammer in the construction tools?
There
I'm
is.
going-
Yep.
I might smash it.
Okay. Give
Yeah,
me
I'll,
a strength roll.
Pick up
You
the
need
hammer and
You need a hard.
I would like to look around if there's something looking to us. I mean,
yeah,
I don't,
this is gonna be loud.
Yeah, so you look
Yeah.
around, you don't see people or
okay.
How much do we really want this? Because I need a hard that's gonna be like 30 points of luck. Should I just do it?
It's our last
well
session,
here?
but
Yeah,
Perhaps
yeah.
I can try and pry it
I'll-
and bend one of the links.
okay, so
I'll
you're
take
gonna
the
try.
I'll take the hit for the team. I'll take the hit. We can I'll spend almost half of my luck.
I love it. I love it.
Let's
Will
be
not-
crazy. Let's
It
be.
will not come back and bite you in the ass. All right, sounds good. Okay, so the lock breaks open, and you're able to open up the gates.
It's like I almost didn't do it. I have to like grunt and I yell involuntarily loud enough that probably some people heard that, and I'm just cursing at the lock that this is my last day on Earth. I'm not pussyfooting around with any metal chains. Smash.
Love it.
I'm gonna push through the gate and head straight for those strange stones.
Okay.
And I'm keeping the hammer.
All right, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, so you go in, and as you get closer to the stones, you see like the vegetation around it have been cleared away and all, and a circle around these stones, but nothing has been built here or erected around it.
Why haven't they started building? They have all the material, and this construction has been going on for a while, supposedly, but yet they have done nothing with this.
That's pretty typical of every every construction project I've ever seen. Pretty consistent with that. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything anything etched on the stones or anything?
Oh, okay, yeah. Give me a spot hidden with a bonus die.
Okay. No, that is an 86 with the bonus dice.
Ouch.
Oh, can I try?
Sure.
It's too dark. I can't see.
You
well
need
in the
new
dark.
glasses. 56 is a pass.
Okay. Yeah. So, Jacob, you were looking on the wrong side of the stone. Madeline's on the other side. And you see in there, chiseled into at the base of the larger stone, the letters FW.
Franz Willemsen.
Willemsen, yeah.
Are they chiseled in like they're going to be part of the memorial, or
No, they look like they were chiseled in hundreds of years ago.
Oh,
is this a grave marker?
Were these from 1600? When is that who we're talking about?
Yes, 1663, Franz Willemsen.
Did they
Let's get some shovels. Let's start digging.
Yeah.
Now we're
Are there
going to
shovels
dig up
nearby
dead bodies?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go look where the hammer was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could picture shovels at a construction site without any stretch of the imagination at all.
Madeline's gonna go over and shut the gates so that way, at least from the outside, it'll look like nothing's been messed with.
Okay.
Yeah. We could even find a ladder and like make it look really like no one's here if we really spend time on it, I think. But yeah, I'll start digging. I'll give a shovel to Jacob, probably the next biggest guy.
Yeah. I'm not exactly built for
I build trenches and everything.
I will go and stand near the gate and just keep an eye out.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so both of the two that are digging, give me Constitution rolls.
Sure. As we get this time.
I got an 02.
Yep,
Nice.
that's an extreme.
Two extremes.
All right, so you're
We just high five.
Lift the coffin.
Yeah, we're into it.
guys
We're
are
like
really good.
One-handed
shape.
shoveling.
You're digging down, and it's going to take a while. Obviously, the hand dig out deep into the ground and all. It's
Not for these two powerhouses.
yeah. I mean, you guys can dig for. How deep are you going?
Don't call me
6 feet if we have to.
Yeah, I know how deep to bury a body. I've done this before.
All right. Huh. All right, so yeah, the sun goes down, the moon comes out, and you finally get down to about where, you'd estimate about 6 feet is and stuff. You could probably just measure it against how tall you are and everything. And you do find some bones.
Damn. Are they chicken bones?
Uh, that would probably be the doctors would, they could probably recognize
We have the biologists.
human
Yeah.
bones and stuff. Yeah, without even having
Tino, take a look at this.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
What's that?
also 300-year-old bones, so they're
Like
What I don't
dingo.
understand is how can these be here?
That's strange.
And there's no coffin, it's just bones.
Is there any jewelry
mean-
or any gold or anything?
nope.
No.
I suppose we didn't know whether this particular person was here in 16 or whatever. I mean, I suppose he could have been. It wouldn't have been a United States. It would have been 100 years before that. But there were
New
people here
Amsterdam.
since 1400 and something.
Is there a skull?
Sure. Mhm.
Is it intact, or is the front part of its face missing?
It is intact.
That would have been a head trip if it if it was like cleaved in half or something.
So I still don't understand why. Why is this here? To what point?
And why was it important to Willamore?
Did they move him here? Have we just desecrated a grave?
I'm fine with it.
These stones are pretty massive. It would be difficult to move them, would it not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And probably when they were digging down, the stones were even further into the ground.
If
And
we go to the other stone, the secondary stone,
Mm-hmm.
there's no markings on it.
You don't see any. No.
and about the soil around, can we
Yeah,
know if it was removed recently or those bones were here from years and
That's
years?
Yeah. That sounds like either a natural world or if you think you have an appropriate science for that.
Okay, let me roll, please.
Okay.
Uh, 6.
Oh, nice. Uh, yeah, you think that you were probably the first people to have dug here in a long, long time. The
I
soil
was-
was
Oh.
very compacted and
I was
Okay.
wondering
Now I feel
more
bad.
about like the perimeter, because this is like a fenced off circle, right?
yep. Mm-hmm.
If everyone's thinking what I'm thinking, then this is the border of the gravesite. If there's something around the perimeter, I want to see around the perimeter, first of all, maybe there's other small stones that we didn't see, anything like that. A line in the dirt or somewhere where the grass is a different type of grass from the grass in the zoo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can only do spot hidden, but I'll tell the doctor is to look at the grass, you know?
Okay. We'll say you guys kind of look around. There's no need to make a roll. Nothing you see looks like
I'm
it's
starting to think that we've made a horrible mistake. That this is nothing. That we've
Wow,
gotten
John.
involved in something that's frightened us, and now we're digging up people's
Yeah, you're
graves
right.
in the middle of zoos.
I'll start putting the
Uh,
dirt back.
okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna take
I
a
just
key out
can't
on the
think that
blank
it's
stone, and
nothing.
I'm gonna write scraps was here on the
Oh
other.
gosh. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pee on it. Fuck New York. Just off in the corner,
I'm-
though.
I'm going to run my hands over the stones and see if there's any other writing on them or hieroglyphics or anything like that.
There is not. No.
Nothing, just smooth. And they look ancient. They don't look like they were carved.
That's correct. Yeah, they look
With
like
the
they're
memorial.
natural stones. So
Yeah.
Maybe they
Does
I don't
it
know what
seem
this is.
like maybe they align with some stars or some sort of natural markers in the sky?
They lead
I will let
lines.
you make a choice on that. You can either do a regular science astronomy, or I'll give you a hard navigate.
Oh gosh,
Navigating by the
probably
stars.
not going to have anything. Navigate's 10. Science.
5% chance.
Science is 1, so I guess we'll try navigate. Oh, nope, 88.
Yeah. You're kind of like looking up. And you're like, oh,
I
yeah.
was thinking this before. It's maybe not important what's, here. It's not like a magical spell. It could be John brought something here, like his book, and he met with people and he just needed to see this place for some reason. And they were interested in his dreams. Maybe by seeing it, it would influence his dreams or something. And he's just supposed to write about it.
If he thinks that Franz Williamson is his ancestor, that he's descended from it, maybe he wanted to see the patriarch of the family's grave.
Uh-huh.
That's all he wanted to see.
But why would he be buried here alone?
Why not at a cemetery?
Because
Exactly.
Why not at a
because
church?
he's the patriarch of the family, perhaps, but why here? I'm not sure.
They just paid to have this place made a few years ago.
Well, perhaps we need to investigate some cemetery records and see if there's any other Williamsons locally about.
If there was a church or something here. I don't know. None of this seems to tie together to the weird larva and the missing John. We still have no idea where John might be.
No, that's the whole reason why we came here. I hate to say it, but it looks like we're tomorrow morning, I guess we're gonna have to go to the spring exchange because I really don't know where else to go other than maybe back to the library to look up some information. We're running out of leads.
Well, and also checking the train station lockers.
Yeah.
All right. So you see Scraps over there throwing the dirt back in. Yeah.
And I'm helping, obviously.
You're helping also. Okay. All right. So if you fill back in, it's going to take you less time than to dig it out, but it's still going to take probably an hour or so to. So we'll say, it's pushing midnight, if not past midnight, by the time you get it dug out and filled back in.
Let's get back to the hotel, take a hot bath, and go to bed.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
we better be a little sneaky, just in case there's any guard wandering the grounds.
Well, it's
I can
it's
go out
plenty
first.
dark and
I can just make sure.
Okay, I think that's a good idea.
I got my old instincts kicking in. I never thought I had to sneak around New York like this in the zoo.
like I said, we can always pretend that we got stuck and we just found our way to the front gate.
All right. If we get in trouble,
Well, Scraps and Mr. Haas are quite filthy. That might be hard to explain.
Keep them in the back. He fell
just-
down.
Throw down. Yeah.
I'll be staying out of sight if I can.
Me
Right,
too.
so-
I actually also have a very good stealth, so I could stay out of sight as well.
All right. All right. So when you look out the gate of the little circular fence, you don't see anyone. It's so if the moon wasn't up, you imagine it'd be very dark. Like barely able to see that your hand in front of your face dark. But the moon is out, so you can see the path. Yeah, so.
We'll just walk along there.
Okay.
And I'll start saying things like, I don't know. We seem to have not been able to find, I don't know why somebody didn't come around looking.
I told you to pick up a map. Why don't you ever listen to me?
It's just my way.
Men.
I once ended up in Auckland one time without knowing how I got there.
So you guys make it to the front gate. It is, of course, locked. And you don't see anyone.
Hello. Bang, 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 bang. Shiza, as they say.
Is there an office or anything?
Everyone loves camping.
Is there an office to the Zoological Society or anything, or any type of indoor
there is
facility?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could break in there and snoop around. I mean, there's nobody here.
They're going to
why
find
we
out,
should
though,
do
that
that?
they broke in the morning when they get here.
I don't know.
That's going to make us look quite bad.
Yeah, you saw the first break-in in the with the lock.
Is there a telephone? We could telephone someone and tell them that we've gotten trapped in here.
How high is this gate?
The gate is probably 15 foot up. It's one of those like wrought iron with like the little spikes at the top, decorative spikes at the
3-inch razor sharp spikes on the top.
Yeah, Constantino wire. No.
Maybe if we're gonna be stuck here and breaking into places, we might as well snoop around, but I don't think we're gonna find anything in an office. I was picturing more like an underground research evil lair.
What if somebody shows up when the moon is at its zenith to do some sort of evil ritual?
Yeah, I was wondering if we just came at the wrong time too. Like the moon is, magic.
This is silly. This is all silly.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
very tired. I drove all day.
Yeah, you all are quite tired. And so
Might be silly, but my life's on the line, apparently. I didn't know that until yesterday, but
You know what? We broke the lock. We broke the lock on the memorial. Why don't we just break the lock on the front gate too, and just get out of
bigger
here?
lock. It's a much bigger lock.
What's outside the gate? What's there?
we'll say there's a road with a sidewalk, but it's not like
It's not like a public street.
well, it is, but it's not a busy street.
I bet I can get the gate open. I'll just start yelling, Yankees suck!
Yeah. Go Sox!
In a thick Boston accent.
Literally, someone might come by and break down the gate.
Well, the people that got the keys to the gate went home. There might be extra keys in the office.
Or there might be an exit from the office.
Yeah.
Maybe. We have to think, what would we do if we were completely innocent and in fact we're just stuck in here?
All of us
And
strangers
not
together.
get caught after looking like we've been breaking in and looking at stuff.
They're going to check to see that we didn't break in anywhere, and they're going to find out that we did.
That would take them all night to search the entire park looking for...
Don't you think it's strange that there's no guard here? I mean, it's a big place. At least one person to keep it safe all night.
I was expecting the guy at the
Police?
front door to be a monster and for this whole place to be full of security.
Yeah, you're too
let our-
paranoid.
We've let our minds run away with us.
We could just we could walk around and flag down until we see a security person and say, we got stuck in here, please let us out.
For a cop.
Well,
Yeah.
we could say that we yelled and yelled and no one came, so we broke into the office to see if there was an exit door in there.
I know how we can make up a story and say we got stuck because someone was injured and we're dirty because they fell. And I just have to make it look like like Jacob broke his arm or something. Come here, Jacob.
Then
No.
where's the
Okay.
injured person?
We
Oh,
would
you're
have.
going to create the injured person.
I can do that. I can.
It
I can
makes-
spin a story.
Oh yeah, you're an
creates
actor.
too many. It creates too many questions. People want to know why we didn't get somebody immediately. Why it's too much. Just tell them we got lost. We got stuck in here.
Or we didn't
Surely
realize how
someone will
late the
come
hour
along.
was and didn't know that the gate would be locked.
Nobody
Yeah, I fell
said to
asleep
us
because of Sue's
that they were
boring.
closing.
Okay, so give me a Scraps. You have the worst luck. Give me a luck roll.
Certainly do now. It's 32. Oh, I rolled a 26 over 32.
All right, so I'll let you guys pick. Do you want someone to come along on the street and see you there, or you not? Because you got your luck. Okay, give you what you desire there with that successful luck roll.
Well, if I see someone walking by, I'll kind of ask everybody, like, should we call them? Should we call for them?
I don't think we want somebody on the street. We want somebody on the inside to see us. Maybe because they would have a key and they'd be able to let us, like a groundskeeper could let us out. Somebody on the street's not going to have a key to let us out. I don't see how they're going to help us.
They're not dressed.
All they're going to do is call the police, and then we go to the police station for questioning.
This person's not dressed in uniform, right?
If you wanted to, they will be.
Okay, well, maybe it's a groundskeeper.
All
They
right,
work
let's
here.
flag them down.
But
Hey, yo, Yankee suck.
I think there's a thing we should think about before, and we have dig a tomb, so maybe I'm sure someone will find it, the bones and the hole we made.
They
So-
won't find that for
Don't worry
days.
about that.
It doesn't
But
look
they
like
will
they
know
go
we
there
are
very
the
often.
ones who made it. Maybe if someone
No.
finds.
They'll think one of the workers did it.
It's
Yeah.
dark. They're not going to. Yeah.
It's a huge park.
It's not
Sir,
like I
I'm going to
ruined-
flag the person down, sir,
Okay,
or
All right,
madam,
so-
whoever it is.
so get in. They're come maybe there, and so we'll say after a little bit of time they get the gate open.
Okay.
So they call the person that's got the keys to get the gate, and you get out. Now, of course, like it's probably about 3 or 4 in the morning by the time this whole fiasco gets resolved. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
thank
stay up
goodness
pretty late.
someone was here. I thought we were going to be stuck all night.
oh yeah. Well, you got to pay attention to your watch and all. I mean, you guys must have been in there a long time. Zoo closes at 8.
We got quite lost in the brush. They tumbled down a hill. And I point to Mr.
Yeah.
Haas and Scraps.
Just walking away.
Okay. All right. So you guys make it back to your the Dewdrop Inn, and you guys go to sleep. And we'll say you get up probably 9:30. It's sleeping a little bit,
Yeah.
unless you set the alarm or a wake up call. But then you'll be really tired.
This place has breakfast.
Well, that was embarrassing.
At least we got out
Um,
without getting
It
caught.
could have been worse.
Yeah,
It's going to be in the newspaper probably in a day. or
No,
two.
it won't. They didn't get our
I
name.
don't.
They didn't.
It
I mean,
didn't-
they know our faces. They didn't get our name. I didn't give anybody my name. Hope you didn't give anybody your name.
Oh, no.
It'll be fine.
Well, I'm sure people get locked in there all the time.
Yeah, this can't be the first time that happened.
No.
The animals, especially.
Yeah. So, did we want to go to the library? There's a few things you wanted to look up, Madeline, and then after that, the only other lead I see is the spring exchange.
Okay.
Yes, I have a few things that I want to see if I can find on Williamson's.
Okay. Is everyone going to the library again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Going in strong. All right. So
Do we want to do the thing and look for the lockers at the same time? I could probably do that. I'm no good at the library.
Yes, if you think that your skills would be better going to look for those items that possibly are deposited, have at it.
Yeah, I'll go to all the places in town.
We find
Great.
today's New York Times, and the headline is "Morons Lock Themselves in Archaeological Study."
There'd be
There
morons
you go.
travel all around New York and don't see any sights other than the silly goose chase they're on.
All right. So, old scraps, are you going to all the train stations by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that. All right, Madeline, give me a your library use for what you're trying to look up there.
All right, come on. 43 out of 60. Good.
Okay. And what were you trying to find out?
Seeing if there's any historical documentation about the Williamson family, Franz Williamson, any cemetery records that would possibly have Williamsons
he's
buried in
buried
them.
Okay. All right. Let me sure I've got this so I don't give you a wrong thing here. Because you do, with that you now, they're just snippets because, he wasn't like someone famous that was, you find in there reference to Franz Williamson. Okay, and okay. I was not expecting you to do that research, so I got to find it where it's titled. Yeah. All right, so okay, so you find in there references to Franz Williamson. He he was a Dutch immigrant that lived here in the 1600s. He had a brother, Martin, uh, and Franz. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I got this right here. He Franz. He ended up. He disappeared from records in 1663, but his brother Martin, he changed his name to Martin Willimore, and ended up fathering 8 daughters. And then you kind of go through there. You can follow the bloodline down. Maybe some of them at times, they were famous. But what you do notice is that a lot of the boys, a lot of the men, they have a shorter lifespan than the women do. Now, it's not really documented how they die because, most of them were just names throughout history.
Dr. Ducasse, come look at what I found about Franz. This is fascinating. He had a brother named Martin, and Martin changed his name to Willimore, and had 8 daughters, and the men in the family seemed to die at young ages. Ring any bells?
I mean, it's definitely fits our profile. I'm not sure what the average life expectancy for a hardworking man would have been anyways. You have a career, but most women back then would have stayed home and cooked and cleaned and not done much else. The men
Yes, the women's mortality rates back then were very high as well due to childbirth.
Well, that is true. And children's mortality rate was atrocious. It still is, actually, 1930s. Yeah. We need 30 more years before we're getting those vaccines.
I think this is too much of a coincidence not to be related to John and his family.
What then do you, and somehow to scraps.
They must be descendants of these daughters of Martin.
That's a lot of children, 8 girls.
But the daughters wouldn't have carried on the Willimore name because they would have taken the names of their
Exactly.
husbands. Willimore would have been their maiden name.
Yes.
Well, sometimes in genealogies they list females' maiden name as well.
The big question is, though, why did Franz disappear?
We're trying to solve mysteries that happened so long ago.
Well, why did John Cobbler disappear? That's what we need to know.
That's
And
who we're looking for.
we know that John received a letter from the Mr. Holland and also from a Mr. Williamson, and we know they're at the Spring Exchange. So I think I don't see any other leads other than that. I say that's where we go after we're done here at the library.
But the thing is, at the rock, his initials were carved into that rock. So he didn't just disappear. Someone knew that he died, and he wasn't buried with the family. And why would his brother change his name to disassociate himself, maybe from his brother? Do we think that Martin killed his brother and buried him there? Maybe he felt guilty, and that's why he left a marker?
Maybe his brother got into some of this cult stuff that Tino was talking about, and he wanted to disassociate himself from him because of that.
The thing is, we're just sitting here just speculating on wild things that could have maybe not happened. We don't know. Maybe he just didn't like his brother.
Well, these are all things that I think our current Willimore may be able to shed some light on.
Right.
So we'll cut to Scraps while you guys ponder that. So Scraps, just you're going to find it, but give me a luck roll to see how long it takes you to find this train station. Because
I'm on fire. 06.
Okay, yeah. Luckily, with an 06, the first train station you go to, that's the
Grand Central
the claim.
Station.
Wow, the claim ticket. Yeah, they go. That's our locker. Let's go. I'll get you the package.
Thank you. I'll hand you the receipt.
Yeah, and they take the receipt. They come back and they hand you a box. It's got a twine tied around it, and it's in brown paper.
I'll act like nonchalant, and can I fast talk the porter and ask, so did you happen to meet my associate when they left this package the first time by any chance? Did you notice if he seemed to be in any dire straits?
Dire straits? I mean, he insisted that we put this in a safe spot and all. I told the old gentleman that of course we would, that we always would take care of things. He said it was very important that we take good care of it. That is extremely valuable. Told him that.
Oh yeah,
we're the railroad. We always take care of people's property.
Yeah, you have my appreciation. And also, did he say where he happened to be going by any chance? Not to take too much of your time.
I think he said he was going back home, but I mean,
okay,
I could be, is a week
Makes
or so
sense.
ago. So yeah,
great. All right, thank you. Yeah, that actually helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Go Sox.
What?
But as I'm getting back to the car, I'm just gonna take a peek at the package.
Okay, so inside there is a envelope that's sealed, and there is a larger, not as big as a Roman short sword, but larger than just like a switchblade. So a two-edged blade in there, and the hilt of it has a lot of Egyptian iconography.
I'm just gonna put that back in the box, and I suppose we all agree to meet up wherever. So
Okay, yeah.
and upon getting back to the doctors, I'll just be like, I don't know which one of you scientists knows more about the Egyptologies, but here you go. I found the package, and I think it's a sword. Show you. And here's a letter to anyone who can read this better than me.
July 9th, 1923, Arkham, New York line. Dear Mr. Willimore, I can't scroll. My esteemed friend and benefactor, I apologize for the clandestine nature of this correspondence, but the information I'm about to disclose must not, under any circumstances, fall into the wrong hands. Our association with such matters could place us in a highly unfavorable light. I trust that you will read this letter in solitude and share the necessary details only with those whom you can trust implicitly. I write this missive on a train bound from Arkham, where I spent several days at the invitation of Professor Welfrey. Professor Welfrey is a renowned authority at Miskatonic University, Department of Egyptology, and shares my keen interest in particular and esoteric matters. The professor had heard of our research and the lecture I gave at the New York Historical Society and wished to discuss our findings. His attention was drawn to numerous elements that appeared repeatedly in a tale that dates back to ancient Egypt. This narrative is absent from Egyptian hieroglyphics, but the events have been interpreted from Babylonian cuneiform tablets, which describe significant events in Thebes. Professor Wilfrey has uncovered evidence of systematic suppression of the events in Egypt and the destruction of their accounts, even into modern times. This revelation casts the motives of tomb robbers in a disturbingly new light. In a contemporary account from the dynasty of Pharaoh Hor-Aha, there is mention of a witch tribe in Egypt that made a pact with an ancient spirit entity referred to variously in the scriptures as Nyarlathotep or Nyarlathotep. A notable parallel to the Williamson story is that the male descendants of this witch tribe were born with a peculiar mark. Later, the descendants sought to follow another deity known as Zasarun, which enraged Nyarlathotep. The spirit manifested among them, annihilating those who opposed him by sending supernatural creatures to do his bidding. The massacre left only the high priest Al-Rahotep and his two sons alive, saved by a powerful artifact consecrated to Zasarun. Al-Rahotep's son later joined the pharaoh's priesthood. The professor believes this artifact is a dagger found in the Theban tomb associated with the pharaoh's priesthood, found in a case bearing symbols of both Al-Rahotep and Zasarun. This dagger was sent to him for study by his colleagues at the British Museum. My dear friend, I earnestly urge you to reconsider your planned endeavor. However, if you choose to proceed, the professor has agreed to lend this ancient artifact to your studies. I hope you will keep this item safe and discuss the required measures with your friends from the Church of Arcane Truths. I'm convinced that those who dismiss the Williamson curse as nonsense would likewise deem us as madmen, so the necessity of secrecy is apparent. I trust you comprehend the gravity of this letter and will heed my instructions carefully. Yours sincerely, Edward Huntington. So this is what they're talking about, this sacred dagger of Egypt. Why 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 did our men have this and hide it?
More
Are there
importantly, was John in this church of arcane truth?
are there two cults involved?
Well, it seems like those that follow Nyarlathotep and Zath Shuran.
Yeah.
Seems to be referencing the devil. You know, the devil has many names. Some call him Satan, some call him Beelzebub, and I guess the Egyptians might have called him this Nyarlathotep. But yeah, I feel very uneasy. I feel like the devil is active here. The devil is the one that sent those demons.
I think we're dealing with two different cults that are at odds with one another.
Well, one of them are sending creatures out to kill people.
And am I to understand from the letter that this dagger here is able to destroy them?
It seems so. I'm not completely clear about that, but
Wish they gave us 5 of them, but
Can we have a look at that dagger, Scraps?
Yeah,
be
it's
careful.
right here in this little box, and I think some of those symbols there on the handle, right? Was that what those words were? Something
I
about
believe Scraps is by far the best fighter among the 5 of us, so I think you should continue to hang on to this, Scraps. If one of those monsters comes at you, this might be our only defense.
yeah, I mean, judging by that letter, I guess the one with the mark is the one that they would kill.
the problem is, I believe this was to be delivered to the professor, and it never reached its destination. Why would John not directly take it to him?
maybe John was waylaid. Maybe John didn't.
But he told the clerk that he was headed home.
Yeah, when I talked to the person, they said that he was headed home and that the item was extremely valuable, but he didn't seem distressed, which is not how Mary described him. He was distressed when he was, unless I'm misremembering that, but
And Scraps, I don't know if you caught it. The clerk said the old man.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So the person that they described to me
Huntington.
was not John. It was an old man. So
Huntington left this in the storage locker, and then he gave but we found the storage receipt in Huntington's home in John's jacket.
But
So
Huntington had his face eaten off.
didn't
yeah,
the bugs came out of Huntington's body? But here's something that bothered me, right? The creatures as killing people, we don't see them depositing bugs or slime or eggs. The larvas are just appearing, right? What if the victims have all been also monsters and those are just inside them? So when they die, they come out, and the people who are dying are being killed by the other faction of the same kind of monster or slightly different monster.
But this makes me think, because John's jacket was lying on that armchair, that John, in fact, was the killer and turned into one of these creatures and then used Huntington's persona to do this.
Except if the creatures want that knife and the ticket was in John's pocket, why didn't he come and retrieve it? I say it's the other way around. I think the professor gave John the ticket, telling him to go to New York and retrieve the box safely. But then they got interrupted or something happened and John had to flee and he didn't take his jacket with him.
I agree. I
So,
think that makes sense.
Yeah.
so John doesn't know where to get the box.
But we have it. We have it now.
it.
Let's
So-
take a look at the dagger. Take that dagger. Oh, open that box. I just want to take a look at it just to see what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's a double-edged blade. It's
Is it sharp?
yes, it is very sharp.
Yeah, this would be great for killing people.
Yeah, and then on the outside there's like Egyptian iconography.
Oh, I've got all these
Mhm.
languages under my belt and none of them is ancient Egyptian.
It seems the thing to do is what Dr. Huntington originally wished to take this to the professor.
Yeah.
Take it.
Or if we could find John, give it to him.
Well, finding John could be difficult in this city. We have no idea where he stayed, where he's been. He obviously isn't making his presence known, but we do
Everybody's
know where
looking
this
for-
professor is.
Everybody's looking for John because they think he has the dagger. That's why
Need
they're
to be
looking
careful.
for him. Now we have the dagger. Should we hide the dagger also? Should we put it in the safety deposit box?
No. We need the dagger to protect ourselves from those things. And especially because Scraps has this tattoo, he's a potential target. If I were Scraps, I would keep this dagger on me, hidden, concealed. But that may be the best protection we have. We don't want to put it in a box again.
Maybe. If they kill Scraps, then they'll have the dagger.
Scraps, do you feel comfortable carrying this dagger?
Yeah, I got, some old sheaths and stuff. I got a leg sheath for a long blade like that in my gear, but the way
Or
that
in New York
thing.
City, we could easily find it. We could easily buy, one of those.
Yeah,
places.
that's fine. It's just the way that thing was so powerful when it attacked you. Unless the dagger just explodes them or like radiates, judging by the story, it kind of sounded like they didn't kill with this. It's more like it kept them at bay, just in a general area, because it spared multiple people. If you're in a big fight,
keep it concealed. Keep it concealed. If one of those monsters comes out, take it out, hold it up, show it to them, and hopefully it'll stay away from us.
Well, I'm going to show it to the inside of his skull, but yeah.
But yes, you might be right. Maybe it's like a cross and a vampire.
Right, because in the story, the sons were spared, so they were divinely protected, it seems, like by the god power. Because if it's a big fight, people get hurt, just in the scuff.
Madeline, nobody's going to believe this story when you write it up. This is some crazy shit.
It will sell like hotcakes.
All right. That sounds like a good spot to take a break.
Okay.
Cool.
Things are clearing up.
2 minutes later.
So now that you've got that, where would you like to go?
The Spring Exchange. Maybe.
Okay.
Let's go back to the zoo.
Oh.
Let's dig into that grave again. I think we missed some. We want to miss something.
One more time.
We went deeper.
Let's go check on Mary.
So the Spring Exchange is a larger building in Manhattan. When you show up there, if you go inside, you're greeted by the clerk sitting kind of in the desk in the middle. She looks up. She's like, "Oh, welcome to the Spring Exchange. How can I help you?"
Yes. We would be interested in seeing a Mr. Willermore. Is he in today?
He is. May I ask what this is in reference to?
Well, it has to do. We're here to inquire about I believe a mutual friend of ours that has gone missing and
Mm-hmm.
for information.
Uh, could I give him a name for this mutual friend?
John Cobbler.
John Cobbler. Okay. Oh, uh, just a second. And so she gets up. She picks up the phone. I guess she goes, "Yep, yeah. There's five of them here. They're looking for John." She goes, are any of you related to John?"
We're
Not
here in relation to
That's
his wife, who has asked us.
oh, she's like, "This might seem strange, but do any of you gentlemen have a birthmark over your heart?"
not
Oh,
me.
What a
okay.
very
What?
strange thing for you to ask.
Well, Mr. Willimore, he's got he asked me to ask it.
Okay. What? Well, let's say we do. What then?
Well, I mean, uh, he would be very excited to meet you.
Okay. Well, then we all have one.
Oh, okay. They say they all have one. I
And we're all
know, I
dead.
know. Okay. All right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mr. Spencer will be down in just a moment to escort you up.
Great.
She goes, "Would you like some coffee, tea, anything?"
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So she gets you some. And then after a bit, a guy comes down. He is looks he kind of looks like, not quite a bodyguard, but decent shape and all. He walks over and he sticks out his hand. He goes, "I'm Norris Spencer. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?"
I'm Jacob Haas. These are
Right.
my associates. So this is
Oh.
Dr. Constantine Dukas, and I introduce everybody.
He goes, "So you're looking for John?"
Yes, on behalf of
Uh,
his sister Mary.
okay. All right. Okay. You're Jacob Haas?
Right.
And it's okay. He goes, "Excellent, excellent." He's like, "Oh, well, come on up and stuff, and we'll confirm that is who you are. And if your story checks out, you can meet John and Mr. Wilmore."
Really?
Yes, yes, yes.
I thought John might be here.
Oh, he takes you and he goes out, and they take you into this room, and a little like like on the old speakeasies, a little door there. It kind of window opens up, and someone looks and goes, and you hear John's voice. He's like, "Yeah, I do know them." And it shuts, and the door opens into this large office. And you see John's there, and there's a sitting behind the desk is an older gentleman, probably nearing 80 years old. There's a couple other people sitting in here also, all men. Most of them are in their 20s or 30s and stuff. And
Johnny boy.
it's like, how'd you guys find me?
You know how worried sick Mary's been?
Oh, I hate that, but I hate that she's worried, but I after what I saw, I had to get out of town. I had to get someplace safe. He's like, "You're not going to believe what I saw."
Well, we've
Yeah.
seen some very strange
I think
things
we
too.
will.
We made sure that she is in a safe place.
Yeah, we've gotten her out of the house.
Oh, good, good, good,
She's
good.
moved someplace safe.
And the old man stands up and he goes, "John, introduce me to your friends here." He introduces you. He goes, "This is Robert Willimore. he's I guess the person that set this whole thing in motion in a way.
Okay, pleased to
If
meet you, Mr.
what
Willimore.
thing would that be?
He goes, oh, I'm Mr. Wilmore. He goes, oh, and he's like going, it is my attempt to right a wrong from long, long ago that has unfortunately cursed innocent parties down through the years, including my brother-in-law and my nephew. Oh, they are suffering from the mistakes of an ancestor that they never knew they had.
Before you continue, I want to be forward and honest with you. Our friend Scraps exaggerates a bit. And I motion at all of us except him. We don't have any kind of birthmark, but
Oh, well,
we're aware of the birthmark. He has the birthmark,
Yeah, I'll show it.
you're
and we're also aware of the monsters and some of the lore behind the witch cult of men from ancient Egypt.
Yeah, we found your jacket near a dead man.
Hey, John goes, yeah, I was, Dr. Huntington had contacted me and asked me, he knew I was coming to New York, and he asked me to pick up he left the package there and Mr. Wilmore goes, he's like, well, it's my fault. I wasn't in town when Dr. Huntington came to New York, and so I wasn't there to pick up the package, and he said he left it behind and that he was going to give it to someone to bring it to me. And John's like, and I was that someone. And when I was over there, that's when this creature came and attacked Dr. Huntington, and I had to flee. It was awful. It was awful. It just came in. He looked like a mailman, came in, then he transformed and he just struck Dr. Huntington's front of his face off.
Can Madeline do a psychology roll?
You can.
Mhm.
I'd like to do that as well.
Okay.
Come on, magic dice.
I got an 09.
Oh, 40. Yes, that's just what I need, a 40.
Okay. John believes what he's telling.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't get any like wedding or any of the tells.
So the importance of this artifact you talk about that was placed somewhere in the city.
Yes.
What is it? What do you need? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, Dr. Huntington, he theorized that if the ritual I plan to do on the night of the full moon, that the entity, for lack of a better term, would not want us to achieve that. And through his research, he said he felt that he'd found a dagger that could protect us. Unfortunately, we don't know where the dagger is, but this is our full moon. This will be the anniversary of Franz's death, and it'll be our chance to stop it. And if we miss this chance, we'll have to wait until the full moon will again fall on his anniversary of his death, which could be, years from now.
So if you had this thing and you did this ritual, that would stop your descendants and me from dying?
Well, yes, yeah. What we believe happened is that his brother, he gave a deathbed confession. He'd made a deal with the what he called the devil. He made a deal with the devil to save his brother's life. And
I told you the devil was real.
oh yes, he very much is. And but unfortunately, Devil's Bargain had a raw thing, and all the male descendants of him are cursed to die young. You surprised me there. You're the oldest person I've seen that has the birthmark.
And monsters kill us?
No, 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 no. You die in strange ways.
So, do you know where the monsters came from? Because we've been trying to figure out, like, there's these larvas.
Yeah.
I learned a new word. I know what larva means now.
Oh, where they come from, I don't know, but I theorize that they're the ones that Dr. Huntington was worried about would try and stop us from doing this.
But why would they target seemingly average people? I mean, Huntington, yes, makes sense. I'm assuming the mailman disappeared. We read it in newspaper. The next door neighbor, the groundskeeper at the church. Why those particular people?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is the first I've heard about other people being attacked.
They're searching. They're searching for John. We were asked a number of times, where is John? Where is John?
And there was always the smell of sulfur that accompanied the doppelgangers, creatures, whatever they were. Actually, you looked it up. The Kopektakov is what the book you found said.
Can I look at all the other people except for John and see? Because I have psychology. I'll do that too. Like, are they anxious for us to give them a certain dagger-shaped object and they think we might have it and they're like foaming at the mouths by chance? Or are they just like as confused as we are?
Yeah, you can make a psychology roll on that.
I'll spend 14 luck and get a regular.
Okay. They are not foaming at the mouth to
That's good.
Get the dagger. So they don't seem anxious, like they're like, oh, this is it. But they don't look confused because, like,
they know what we're talking about.
I'll just say, you all never thought to double check Huntington's house for this dagger?
Oh, damn it.
they say this is excellent. This is that we can do this ritual without and be protected. This is
we
wonderful.
Want to participate in the ritual, though. We want to be a part of it.
Oh, my life is the one that's on the line. I don't think the rest of you are in any danger here. The only reason I haven't already left is because of this.
Scraps,
I am an
we've been with you
observer
from the
in this.
beginning of this.
I am
We're
not
with you all the way to the end of the line.
All right, that's very sweet. I only have 2 hands for guns, so the rest of you can hold some guns.
And Mr. Wilmore, he's very excited. He's like, oh, this is excellent. You have the dagger. We can do this. He's like, do you need a place to stay? I have many. The top 4 floors of this building are mine that I've turned into apartments and stuff. You can stay here.
Yeah, but I just have one question. Do you have any problem with me holding on to this dagger? And is there something in the ritual where I can be the one holding the dagger?
Oh, the dagger is not a key component of the ritual. It's just supposed to protect us. And I mean,
okay,
you look like you are
I like you, John.
Used to be a good fighter.
I knew you when you were a little kid. You took my boxing class once and you got hit in the cheek and you gave up immediately. And I love you for that. But listen, I trust you a little bit more now that you're letting me hold the weapon.
I do have one question for you, though, Mr. Wilmore.
Oh, yes,
exactly what is this Church of Arcane Truth?
Oh, that's our name of the people that we gather together. Every good group of people needs to have a name. We couldn't take the Masons. That name's already taken. The Elks, that's already taken. I just thought it sounded fun. You get the feeling he's a little eccentric.
And you say you're a church. Do you worship God?
Well, we welcome all. We have Baptists, we have Catholics, and all. But is this a church where we have a particular deity that we worship? No. I just thought it was a fun name.
Okay.
I'm still a good fighter, by the way.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm the best.
Wow.
All right, so is the ritual, is it going to be tonight or is it tomorrow night?
It's tomorrow night. Yeah.
Tomorrow
hmm
night.
Yep. We've got the zoo. I've got it reserved. They'll let. They've got it reserved for a special gathering for the night. They don't know anything that's going on, but I paid in. We'll show up there about after they close at 8 o'clock, and we'll go to the site. I don't know if you've seen it yet. There's these two stones. That's where Franz died, and that's where we'll break the curse.
What's under the stones?
I assume his body.
Oh, like it needs to be intact for the ritual?
Uh, I don't believe so. I
Oh,
didn't look that part up. I mean, we
okay.
got what we're going to chant and everything, and that should fix it.
So
I assumed
chanting
it
is the only thing that's going to happen. This dagger is just a symbol.
is
It
no, it's
keeps
To
protection. It's
protect.
the
protection.
monsters
So
at
when they try
bay.
and stop us,
Yeah.
I learned so
Yeah.
much about magic in the last 24 hours.
Well, we know that there are evil things that are searching for us, so I think the best thing we can do is stay holed up here until tomorrow night. Um, don't go
Indeed.
out.
excellent. Well, this is what a fortuitous luck that you were able to find this ticket and find yourself here. It's almost
Oh, believe me,
like
it
we're
wasn't
fated.
easy.
Whoa, hold on. It's not lucky until this is done. We could
Oh,
still die.
God is great. Hallelujah.
amen. Amen. All right. So we'll just kind of do a little montage. You guys are hanging out there. They bring back by some pieces of paper with the chant on it. It's mostly it's spelled out phonetically and all. It's in words that you don't understand. But they are very nice rooms they have you stay in. You don't even have to double up. You can have your own room if you wanted.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So the evening arrives. The full moon is up, and about 7 o'clock, um, Mr. Wilmore goes, "Well, I've arranged for some cars to take us to the zoo. Uh, let's tally ho and get this done." He's like, going, we're going to save a lot of lives tonight, my friends. A lot of lives.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen. So,
Amen. Yeah.
Can I
I'll,
do a roll to see if I have any weird feelings about this other than all this religious stuff?
yeah,
Uh,
all that.
that
Sure.
something seems fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, literally 99. So
Yeah, no.
I think everything is just
Yeah,
perfect
everything
and good to
perfect.
go.
All right.
Yeah, and I want it to be perfect, so I have no
Mm-hmm.
objections.
For a few minutes there, I kept expecting old Scraps to say, "Do you maybe need this?" and pull out one of the femur bones from the body.
As long as no one's disturbed his grave, it should be perfect.
If they really said the body had to be intact, we'd be so cooked.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you guys, take the vehicles there. When you show up, the zoo manager's there. Mr. Wilmore goes there, and they've got the contract, and he goes, yes. We won't break anything. We're just going to go to my ancestors' memorial and all, and we'll be sure to lock up when we're done. Like, huh? So he takes you back there, and you get by the stones and all. Okay, everyone that is going to be doing the chant, give me a power.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll
I,
do it.
s-
I'm a
I
linguist.
assume because I'm holding the sword, I'm not chanting.
No, you can.
Okay. I mean, do I have to?
Nope, nope, no, you don't have to.
I feel
You're
like my
welcome.
small brain can't do those two things at once, so I'm just gonna hold the sword.
Okay.
I got an extreme. So,
93 here.
93 out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regular pass.
Regular time. All right. So, Dr. Adams, you, after a bit, you start kind of stumbling over the words and stuff, and you kind of fall out. If you pass, then you're able to go along. What starts happening? You start seeing like this fall. It starts getting very foggy in the area. Yeah, and then the fog gets a little thick, not so thick that you can't see the other people, but like you wouldn't be able to see outside of the circled in fence area. And everyone give me a listen roll.
Okay.
nope.
Okay.
I failed by 7.
That's up to you.
Did anybody
Uh,
pass?
I passed
Okay, Dr. Adams.
23 out of 30.
Okay, so Dr. Adams, what you notice, even though the zoo's kind of, not in the heart of the city, you can still hear the city there.
Yeah.
And it's what you notice is suddenly you can't hear the city anymore at all. And that's what
Okay.
kind of gets you. You notice you're like, oh, kind of like if you're in the woods and suddenly it gets quiet, you really kind of notice that you don't hear it. And that's what you notice is that, hey, you don't hear cars or horns honking, people yelling or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then one of the persons will say, the person next to Scraps, because he's got the worst luck.
This
He
one standing near John.
You're saying there, John? Okay.
Yeah.
So John yells out as a arrow goes into his right shoulder.
John, get down!
Oh God!
He's hit.
And then you see
Medic.
3 Native Americans come out. They've got a bow and arrow. Does anyone have any anthropology?
You?
Nope.
Just
I
a
got
tiny bit.
Okay. You.
Nope.
Okay. All right. You're just like, whoa. Okay. So you see some Native Americans come out, and they're approaching with the arrows, and they are saying something, but of course you don't speak their language. And Mr. Wilmore, he goes, hello?
Can I start first aiding John?
Yes, you can.
Just like take one knee with the sword in my left hand, keeping my hand on that sword. Exactly what I needed, 50. It's enough
All
to
right. So
undo a little.
do that. And then around the corner comes 2 Europeans. They're dressed in garb that would be appropriate for the 1600s. They kind of look around, and then they start talking. Now they're first speaking in Dutch, and I assume no one speaks Dutch.
No. I try Spanish and French.
Oh, Spanish. He goes, I yes. He goes, where did you come from? You're dressed strangely.
We came from Salem, Arkham. I don't know.
Oh, he's like, oh, not.
We're travelers.
Oh, man. It's like strange. He's like going, well, well met. I am Franz, and this is my brother Martin. It's good to meet you. Like, I'm sorry, we were hunting a criminal down, and we thought you might have been him, and that's why my friend over here shot you.
I turn to the others. Do we explain this? Have we traveled?
Now, Madeline didn't do the chant. Is she seeing this?
Yep.
Oh,
John's stable, so I'll be like, did you say that guy's name is Martin?
Yes.
those are the original brothers.
That's the guy, John.
We are from where we are currently still using the old calendar. What is the date today?
It is sorry, is June. Sorry, here we go. It is no, sorry, July 20th of 1663.
Oh, so a few days off.
Oh,
Maybe just explain that we're also looking for criminals, and I just asked John what is next in the ritual. Are we supposed to just keep chanting?
he kind of looks over, he's like going, I don't know.
This is all your idea, John.
No, it was him. Then he points over at Mr. Willimore, who's like, and he's like going, he comes up and he goes, Franz and Martin, I must tell you that you one of you is going to suffer a bad fate today, and whatever happens, you just must let it occur. Don't try and strike a bargain to save the other one's life. And they of course kind of look at him very confused. So like with Dr. Dukas probably translating since they don't speak the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll kind of show the sword a little as evidence. Obviously, it looks very strange, and kind of just whisper over to the doctor to assure them that we're in their own terms. Tell them we're telling the truth.
Is it our intention to explain to them what's really going on here?
I guess the ritual is to undo the timeline, right?
Yeah.
To undo the timeline. All right. So then in Spanish, I say, look, gentlemen, we want to level with you and tell you what's going on. In this year, on this day, we don't know exactly what, but something happens to one of you. And the other, we are not from this time. We are on a different calendar. But something happens. I know this is why we are dressed so strangely. But one of you, in his desperation, will make a deal with a very dark entity, the devil, to save the other one's life. But as a result, it is going to curse your family for all time afterwards. By the time our time comes around, you have many progeny. And I point to Scrappy.
Yeah, be like, John, show him your tattoo.
He's one of them.
The birthmark.
When you do that, the Native Americans, they start talking amongst themselves, and they go, those are the devil's marks.
Yeah. Because of you.
Well, we're going to the group that we're going to go attack. They're devil worshippers, and we're going to get rid of them. They're not good Christians.
Yeah, they're going to curse you.
it's going to curse and it's going to stick. And all of the males in your family from now on will die very young.
Yeah, just go get more guns and more people and kill them faster and better so they can't curse you so that all of us can be cured. Do it tomorrow.
Jacob is a fundamentalist Christian too, so he probably wears a cross.
Yeah, I've got a cross.
So I show it. We show him our cross. We're Christians too. You can trust us.
Yeah, this is gold.
Yeah. They have like a cross that they're wearing also, and there goes. Well, I mean, so you're saying that we shouldn't try and attack the devil
Yeah,
Not
worshippers.
now, not at
Not now.
night.
Something they do to you, they have some kind of power.
It's very strange.
We don't know exactly either, but we don't know anything else except for what we just told you. Tell them that in Spanish.
Yeah.
I relate everything.
And they relate. You go,
Is the moon also full in their
It is.
time?
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's the key. This moon, if we can get it to pass its phase, then maybe this can't happen.
Yeah, we'll tell them the whole story. Tell them about the statue, about the monsters.
What if we go with them to stop the cult? You have the dagger.
That is true. I could just give them the dagger. I don't want this. I'll give the dude the dagger right now. I'll just hand it over and I'll tell them that for some reason we were told this protects us.
It stops the monsters.
Oh,
I don't even know if that's our current enemy or the enemy we were fighting earlier, but you can have it.
oh, well, thank you. He's like going, so are we going to attack them or not? I don't know which one you want me to do now.
It's a strategic maneuver. We have to learn more about the enemy before we can attack them safely. You are about to walk right into their trap.
Well.
The problem is, as I've been thinking, what if the reason why all this happens is because that cult is doing something this very night that will bring forth some horrible monster demon into the world, and these men were supposed to stop them, and they stop them, and that's why they get cursed in the process. I think we have to stop the cult. And even though we might suffer losses, we must not make a deal with the devil.
Can they get more soldiers? We have advanced guns. We can show them how our guns. We can kill tons of people.
The moon is already fairly high.
No, but Robert said that Franz must die today. So we don't want to change that history. We just need to make sure he doesn't make a deal with the devil, right? If I'm
That's true.
understanding. So if we change the history, if he's supposed to die today and he doesn't die, then what happens?
I mean, if we tell them what to do, we give them the weapon and we don't interfere, I feel like if we still messed up after that, then what else were we supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's like out of game, like Star Trek, right? Like as minimal interference, right?
I would say you can attack the cult, but just make sure that you do not make a deal with the devil under any circumstances. Whatever he tells you, there is a hidden curse that's going to affect your whole family for hundreds of years after. So as long as we can convince him not to do that.
Give me a convince. That sounds like a
persuade.
So I'll give you a bonus die because you showed him that your cross and.
Yeah, I missed it by 5 points, but I will spend 5 points of luck to make that a success.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He agrees he will not make any deal with the devil. And
So,
then
Jacob, you say that he has to die, and we don't want to change the time, but that's exactly what we're doing at this point.
We already did.
Well, I'm going to
Deal
ask
with-
Robert. Let's ask Robert. He's the expert. What do you think, Robert?
he's like, oh, I just
He's an
thought we
expert
had to
in
stop
anything.
him from making the deal with the devil.
Yeah.
There could
As
be.
long as
can't
he's not going
control
to make
everything.
a deal with the devil, then he will. Then I think everything will be fine.
I mean,
Hopefully.
maybe Franz's descendant stops the Kaiser or something. Could make the
We
world even
don't know.
better.
It'll change time either way. We've already revealed ourselves and stuck our nose into the timeline. It's going to change.
Right.
Some of us might end up not being born. We might blink out of existence.
It might also not
Honestly-
be possible to change the timeline, and it'll all happen.
Hopefully, that
Exactly.
birthmark on you, Scraps, will disappear by the time we go back.
If I just disappear, just remember me fondly too. That I don't really care.
But
If you
if this
disappear, we won't
other
even know you
cult
existed.
That's fine.
succeeds in whatever ritual they are planning to do
Summoning
tonight,
up the devil
then what would that mean in our future?
might destroy the world.
I already saved the
knows?
world once. I didn't sign up to care about doing it again. We already did enough.
Well, if we weren't going to care about what our future brings, then why are we here?
Circumstance. We were
Did
basically
we
forced.
negotiate a price on this mission? My God.
No, we were just doing it for Mary because she's nice.
We're saving you from the curse, Scraps.
Yeah.
I was just
But
trying to
still-
find John to make rent. Look, I already came close to death more times than I can count. I'm not
We just extended your lifespan.
great.
I think we have to see this through. I think we have to go. We have to stop the cult.
Do you feel that the brothers should stay behind? And that way,
No, I think they need to be there too. And
Mhm.
whatever happens, happens, and it will change our world.
What if we
But-
watch? What if we observe and see if something happens like that and then we could intervene?
You can't just watch people fighting.
Sure you can.
They
I
won't.
did
The bad guys won't just stand there and say, "Oh, they're just observers," and walk away.
Cults are evil. They
No, if
work with
you're-
the devil. They must be destroyed.
If they're
well,
fighting
our
each other,
presence may throw them off because look at us. We would surely shock them.
you stand
Well, we
back
could-
far enough, they're going to be more interested at the people with weapons attacking them to even notice people watching them.
We may succeed by just standing here and talking about it all night and doing absolutely nothing.
Well,
So
let's go take a look then if you want.
Let's go.
At this
Let's be
point, I
brave.
feel like we already did good. So
Brave.
this is just icing on the cake.
All right. So the brothers with the three Native Americans that they continue down the way that they were going. Are you going with
Do we
them
fi-
or?
do we fix John up at all?
Oh yeah.
I did.
Scraps it.
Oh, okay.
I'll go I'll advise everyone how to stay back and stay in the trees and stuff. I'm trained for trench warfare, but
Mhm.
We were watching
Yeah,
history
Madeline's
play out.
completely trained in nothing. She's
Okay.
she's kind of cowering behind everyone, like, "Ugh."
All right. So if you stay back and watch, they go there, and you see over the hill, you see those two stones that you saw in the zoo, and there's three people there, and they've got dancing around, and they've got a Native American woman tied down, but they've already kind of cut her up pretty bad. And they're obviously doing a ritual around her, and so. And then as you watch, the brothers and the Native Americans attack. And when they do, you guys don't do anything. The attack plays out very similar to how it would have there. You see Franz gets stabbed. He goes down, but they do wipe out the cult. And then you see see Martin kind of stand there. He's looking down at his brother. He looks very depressed. And he kind of looks up at you. And for a moment, you think that he might actually call out again to try and make a deal to save his brother. But since you did well on your persuade, he does decide not to. And he turns his back and he comes walking back to you. And he hands you the dagger. And he goes, here. He goes, I think I'm going to head to the south. I don't want to live here anymore.
And I didn't vanish, so.
No, you did not. But your birthmark did.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. And in a bit of time, you start seeing kind of fog kind of gathering around, and you guys go back through it. And we'll start with Madeline. Madeline, what were you doing before you got that telegram from Mary?
I was at my desk typing up a new article to give to my editor, Michael Bell, and that's when I received the knock on the door.
Okay. You do not get a knock on the door. You finish the article. It's well received, and you have a good time. Your life goes on. You never meet Dr. Dukas, Dr. Adams, Jacob Haas, or Old Scraps ever. Jacob, how does your life change because you were never contacted by Mary?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't see I all these experiences. I didn't have them,
Yeah,
so
no, they never occurred.
just continue acting.
Yeah, yeah. And then Old Scraps, you keep living the hard life.
Yeah, well, I got that letter the morning, and that means the night before I was up drinking and pondering how I was going to pay rent, and I never do.
Yeah.
And Old Scraps ends up on the street and forgotten in the dumpster.
Scraps.
Digging through the
Adams.
dumpster for scraps.
Yeah. And Dr. Adams, how did your life turn out?
I will continue reading a lot of book in my wing chair.
Mhm.
And I'll be reading stuff like what has happened, but I will not leave it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then finally, Dr. Dukas,
Well,
how did you?
pretty much my life has been exactly as it was before, but I keep running into a very strange looking man, always in a place I don't expect. When I was in the rainforest studying, when I was teaching classes, he has sort of an Egyptian cast to his look, and at first I didn't really pay any attention, but as I've gotten older, he's always there. And I get the feeling that he's very angry at me for no particular reason. But other than that, my life has been pretty interesting.
All right. Excellent. And we won't go into the paradox of did you actually go back and change time? Because once you did, there'd be no reason to go back in time.
Yeah.
Well, we technically took the sword back, right? Does that also
That's
just
true.
disappear?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It goes. It's still on display in the British Museum.
Nice.
Well, and we all live happily ever after in the United States of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, that's right.
That never, 1776 never happened.
Revolutionary War is undone.
Pulls back the map. It's all different.
Yeah, and you
And
guys,
we're all owned by Canada.
you guys never meet.
Auf
Never
Wiedersehen.
knew each other.
Cool. Yeah, good story.
Nice.
So
Happy ending.
essentially Franz, he died, and in his desperation, Martin called out for someone to save his brother, and price was that they came back, they saved his brother for a few more minutes. And then, of course, he was scarred. He was marked with the birthmark over his heart. That was the deal. And so then Franz died shortly afterwards because it was Nyarlathotep was the devil that they were trying to wake up. And then they just were dying on bass. So Dr. Huntington, when he got the knives, those creatures, they were the things that were trying to just get the knife back. And Dr. Dukas, you summed it up when you're like, he was just there to pick up that receipt when he got attacked. And that's why they were always just looking for John. They were just like, because they was the last person that they knew that probably had the knife.
How many of those creatures were there?
As many as I wanted.
Okay. And who was that Zoth Sharoon? What did that represent?
It's just
another god.
ancient.
Yeah. Okay.
And where was John's dream diary?
It was in his room. He had it with him and stuff, and yeah. So if you'd ask, he did have it. He's just talking about dreams of dreaming about the devil coming to get him. And all.
You mean his room at Willamore's, not the room at the cobbler?
Yep, his room at Willamore's.
We searched the cobbler house up and down.
Yeah, no, it wasn't there. He took it with him.
Then the question is, why did he take his journal, but he left his goddamn pen?
Yeah, right. He needed it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this is like too meta, but like what we were saying in the break was like if we did things in a reverse order once we got to New York and just went to that building first instead of the zoo or the library, we would have been told about the ritual just like that.
Yep. Yeah, because like I can't remember who said it. I think it was Madeline. She's like, well, maybe Mr. Willimore is actually a good guy that's protecting John, and that's exactly what he was. So,
it's like
we just picked the wrong sandbox area.
If you had actually broken into the office in the zoo, I was going to let you find the little contract hey, we've got the zoo night reserved 2 days from now.
Then we would have thought it was the bad guy.
I know.
So
this is a story you can it could have been avoided if John just left a post-it note for Mary. It's like, I'm going to.
And I thought that Stephen was all involved in this. I'm like, Mary's fiance, Stephen, is somehow involved in the scheme with his imports and exports.
Obviously, we needed to save the world. I just don't, I even said, why in all of their trying would they not have just gone back to where the murder occurred and look around for clues there? They just stayed at the one place where it was safe the whole time, I guess.
Well, I got the distinct impression that the guy with John didn't really have any clue what he was doing.
No. Yeah, his brother-in-law who married his sister died, and then his nephew died, and that's why he became like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah.
Good game, fun.
Yep.
I'll look forward to reading through it. Yeah.
It was a brain twister.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and finish up. Our players included Kiko, Vincent Picado, Carrie Marion, David Shiflett, Justin Baumgartner, and myself with Keith Craig as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.